Hey, what's up YouTubers? It's me again, Brian, aka Gamer55551, and I am back with a My 2 Cent video where I take a look at a couple of stories that have come out this week and give you my thoughts and my opinion about them. So while we get started with this video, we'll start with the first one. And the first one is that Nintendo has sort of been on the news this week. This relates to two things. The first one has to do with an update that no one saw coming, and basically a change in their review policy. So why don't we start with the first part and talk about the update. For those who are not aware, I believe yesterday an update for the Nintendo Switch went live with not a whole lot of fanfare or a whole lot of attention, but a couple of things they did that did get a lot of people looking though. So I'll bring up the article again. Links will be in the description of this video. You can take a look. One of the updates they brought out is is some of the changes they made to the Switch. One of them is now you can capture videos on selective games. You can do this by holding down a capture during gameplay, and up to a maximum of 30 seconds will be saved. You could trim the beginning and the end and post it on Facebook and Twitter. There are some new icons from Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey to use for your profile. 12 new ones. Big one that some people like is to transfer user and save data to another system. It's not the cloud system people want, but it's a start though. There's a pre-purchase option for the Nintendo eShop. And let's see, other things as well is that the news channel update has been updated with a new look, match software version with groups of local users. Let's see, anything else? They've also now, and this is sort of a big one right here, if I could get it up though. Let's see if I can get that story up. Yeah, here we go. Apparently now they've also, with that update, at least accorded by a post on Reddit, at least a post by someone on Reddit, it looks like though you can now use wireless headphones though. Sort of. According to the article, it says users on Reddit have discovered that the Switch now supports headphones through a USB when in dock mode, including wireless one. GameSpot, the article I'm reading from, has verified the system now works with Sony's PlayStation Go wireless headset, which is intended for the use of the PS4, but also works on PC. By plugging the headset USB dongle, DONGLE, into the Switch dock, you can use it. You can use it with the Nintendo system. The process is really simple. The Switch automatically recognizes the headset and begins outputting sounds through the headphones. You also see the usual volume notification pop up that you would use when using a standard headphone jack. Volume output can be controlled by holding down the home button when presented with a slider for the USB volume analog. The other standpoint option, you see that in the quick menu. No word about whether or not it supports, the one with the mic or anything. I haven't heard anything about that yet though. So regarding a lot of this updates, the ones that stuck out for me the most is the video capture one and the headset one. It is a little strange that Nintendo did not talk about the video headset one, because I really don't know why they didn't want to talk about it. And there could be several reasons. Maybe the fact that the so-called voice chat app that they released this year turned out to be a big failure for them. That could be it, or it's possible they're gearing up to maybe they're going to release their own headset, basically, because just like how Sony released their own headset, maybe they're building up for that one. So I'm not 100% sure why they didn't advertise this though. Maybe they don't want to throw the voice app, the voice app option of it away, like the voice app on your phone or anything like that. But given the negativity about that, I really think they need to get rid of it though. I really do, because right now, yes, they updated it, but it's just gotten so much of a negative press though. As for the video clip though, I am great that they have brought that option over, but There is a catch, however. According to several articles, though, while it's great that you can record some gameplay footage, though, the downside is, as of right now, it's only set at 30 seconds at this moment, though. So, and of course, you can't post it on YouTube or anything like that. And also, there's no Twitch or streaming any options available on the Switch compared to, say, like what the PS4 has, though. It may not be. It's a start. I will say it's a start. It's not at the level that it is, but hopefully it can expand on it, though. The other problem right now, and this probably might be a disappointment to some, is that only if certain games you will be able to use this app, the video capture thing for only certain games, though. It won't work with every single game. That might change, but for right now, that's not the case. For right now, it only works on, if I could get the article back, though. Let's see. Look at him. Okay, as of right now, the feature is compatible with, and that's the capture video one, is The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, ARMS, and Splatoon 2 at this time. So those games will require a update, though. It is a little disappointing that it's only for those games. I'm hoping that will change over time, but for right now, it seems those are the only ones available that uses the capture option, though. And I hope that capture option does change, though. That's the phone. Hopefully it does. Hopefully Nintendo updates it and makes some modifications, though. Much like we saw with the PS4. When that came out, it was only, I think, 15 minutes you could record, though. But then over time, they updated it, and it pushed it up to 1 hour, to the option of the share factory. That's the thing I use for a lot of editing of my PS4 videos as well, to the option to upload it up to YouTube. So I do hope, though, that they are basically updating this over time. So I'm hoping that's the case. I would like to see this option take off. As far as the voice chat as far as the headphone option, though, I do hope that it does also support ones with like the mic, though, because I really think that I'm not a big voice chat person, but I really hope that can also be used as well. Okay, the second part of this part 1 video I want to talk about is a change to one of Nintendo's policy revolving reviews. And this one has to do with a controversy that happened, or something happened with an influencer, or someone who did a review for Mario Luigi Superstar Saga Minions. I think that was the remake of the original Game Boy Advance. Let me get the article up. From a oh, nope, that's not the right one. My bad. Where is it? Okay. Here we go. From a post on US Gamer, though, here's it goes. Last month, a copy of Mario Luigi Superstar Saga and Bowser Minions remake for the 3DS leaked online several weeks ahead of its official release date. Now, multiple sources who work with Nintendo to produce the content had agreed to speak under condition of anonymous, and have come forward claiming that Nintendo America has changed its internal review process. Nintendo is now reportedly clamping down on which outlets and video influencers will receive advanced copies for review and video content, with video influencer and small outlets being hit hard by the policy change. According to the article it wrote, on September 21st, a post on the r/3DS Piracy subreddit announced that a version of Superstar Remake leaked on a 4chan message board and a ISO site, with pirates claiming that a version of the game is legitimate. No. In the following days, posts about the leaked copy began to appear on other subreddits and forums like Game FAQs, with warnings about potential spoilers, or worse, a ban from Nintendo service if pirates decide to play the game with Wi-Fi turned on. While pirates enjoyed the leaked version of the new Mario Luigi RPG ahead of its official release, Nintendo of America quietly responded to the leak by tightening its review process. Multiple sources claim that this was in deliberate response to the Mario and Luigi leak, with one anonymous source telling US Gamer, after the leak of Mario and Luigi done by an influencer, Nintendo America flipped out and changed their review policy. Plenty of outlets and influencers are without Fire Emblem Warriors, that's the game that came out, and so far we haven't seen a whole lot of reviews of it yet, and Super Mario Odyssey. Apparently, it will be sent out in tiers, T-I-E-R-S, but I'm not sure how they are set up. Let's see what else. So apparently it appears as though Nintendo is not pleased with what just happened, though. And I have to say, the response to Nintendo of America, what they did, I'm kind of mixed on this, though. On one hand, I don't disagree with the fact that, you know what, it is their IP, it is their product. They don't have to send out early review codes or early review copies if they don't want to. They could choose to set whatever terms they want to set. And if this influencer, pardon if I'm not saying the name correctly, violated any terms, then yeah, he should be, then Nintendo has the right not to send any more review codes to this person or to anyone. And remember, it is their product. They can do that. That said, however, I'm very iffy about this for several reasons. And to me, when hearing Nintendo saying they're not going to send them early codes, any early review copies though, I can't help but feel that it brings back that memory of what we saw with Assassin's Creed Unity and what we saw with Sonic Boom Rise of the Lyrics. If we all remember back in 2014, Ubisoft and Sega put out a review embargo for their games, basically a post-launch review embargo in which they could not post it until after the game came out. And there were a lot of bugs and glitches in that game, both Sonic Boom Rise of Lyrics and Assassin's Creed Unity, and both of those companies got into major trouble with it. They suffered a lot of backlashes, though. Ubisoft was forced to basically cancel the season pass, to reevaluate their review embargo policy, and offer one free game to download of what they have available into what as an apology for what happened with Assassin's Creed Unity. So I understand to some degree that what Nintendo's doing, but at the same time, I do kind of agree with the argument that they are overreacting a little bit, and I'm not too sure about this kind of approach because, again, they are well within their right, but their decision not to send out early advanced copies of the game basically gives the impression that the game might be bad or anything else. Now, I'm not saying Mario Odyssey or Fire Emblem Warriors is bad. I just picked up Fire Emblem Warriors, and so far I'm enjoying the game. And I'm sure Mario Odyssey, based on what it's seen so far, looks good. But I don't like this decision because I'm worried it just brings back the Assassin's Creed Unity and Sonic Boom Rise of the Lyrics situation. So I really think Nintendo needs to sort of, at least Nintendo of America needs to kind of reevaluate this, though. Okay, I'm going to take a little break, and when we come back, we'll get to part 2 of our video, in which I'll be talking about some of the comments with EA, ranging from Visceral Games shutting down to Star Wars Battlefront 2, and the chances of that coming to the Nintendo Switch. So we'll take a bit of a break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with part 2 of our video, of our My 2 Cent for this week. For this one, we're going to be taking a look at 2 stories that came out regarding EA. Yes, EA, the same company that a lot of people love to hate, and believe me, there are multiple reasons. So EA, there's 2, as I said, there were 2. One is regarding a port of a game that they might bring to the Nintendo Switch, and the other one is the fact that, and this is probably the most obvious one, they shut down another studio, and that this time it's Visceral Games. According to an article from Game Informer, again I'll have a link in the description, it says here, EA has announced that they are shutting down Visceral Games, the studio behind the entire Dead Space series, Battlefield Hardline, and an upcoming unnamed Star Wars game that has been teased by EA in the previous years. Visceral brought in Amy Hemming Henning, Henning, most famous known as director of Uncharted.to, on board for the studio Star Wars game that has now been significantly retooled as EA Executive Vice President. Implied in a post blog, the game seems to be moving from a self-contained single-player experience to a long-term game-as-a-service model. In its current form, it was shaping up to be a story-based linear adventure game. Throughout the development process, we've been testing the game's concept with players, listening to their feedback and what and how they want to play, and closely track fundamental shifts in the marketplace. It's become clear that to deliver an experience that players will want to come back and enjoy for a long time to come, we need to pivot the design. I'm very, very disappointed in this, and a lot of people were disappointed to hear this news, and I'm not surprised though. The fact that it sort of brought up the argument of our single-player games dying, though, and I'm not 100% sure about that. When you look at games like Breath of the Wild and Horizon Zero Dawn and how well those games sold, I still believe that there is still a market for that. But to hear what happened to this studio is just, well, it's just sad because they produced supposedly Dead Space 1 and 2, which is liked by a lot of people, but Dead Space 3 wasn't, mostly because people blame EA for turning it into sort of like nothing but microtransactions into that game, not to mention the infamous, we gotta sell 5 million copies in order to keep this franchise going though, and the fact that they were reduced to developing Battlefield Hardline, which I heard didn't exactly sell as well as EA had hoped for, but unfortunately this is sort of became a pattern that we've seen with EA before, as if they have purchased a studio and then eventually they throw it under the bus though. Remember what happened with SimCity? Remember that debacle of the mess? And how Maxis had to come out and defend? Max came out and defended their decision, even though many felt that EA threw Maxis under the bus, saying that single-player offline mode wouldn't work until they eventually added one, but it was too little too late, though. Personally, though, it's sad to see what happened to Visceral Games, although I have heard that this development team have been moved on to other things as well, so that's not bad. But this to me is very disappointing. And the thing is, I would have played this. I would have played this story-driven Star Wars game. And now there are reports coming out that it's moving towards to a game as service, a free-to-play, to even some people claiming that whatever this game was is now they're gonna try to make it into sort of a Destiny 2 like kind of approach. And as much as I think Destiny 2 is an improvement though, I would have preferred the story-driven type of a game, and it's just really sad that EA did this though. I mean, it really, really is. And well, and I don't blame a lot of people pretty much being pissed off about it though. I mean, yeah, I would have wanted to play this. I really would have, but now we're never going to get to that opportunity. And it does kind of worry about their other upcoming game, Anthem, which is being developed by BioWare after the debacle of the mess that Mass Effect Andromeda is. Better game now, but the damage has already been done to that one, though. I just worry that one could be just a game as service, microtransaction, free-to-play kind of a game, though. But it really is sad, and I can see why a lot of people are upset about this, though. In other EA side of the story, apparently the developers have made a comment regarding any chance that Star Wars Battlefront 2 might come to the Switch. Let me get the article up, though. In an article on Nintendo Life, though, basically the article says, with Star Wars The Last Jedi just around the corner, the release of Star Wars Battlefront 2 is well timed, and we can expect the FPS title to gain plenty of attention, not just for its connection to the wider Star Wars universe, but because it's shaping up to be a very impressive title indeed, though I think a lot of people are pissed about the whole loot box thing. Not to mention, it's also been reported that the campaign single player is about 5 to 7 hours. So for me, I'm probably going to wait for bargain bin price before I even pick that one up. With titles like Doom and Wolfenstein 2 heading to the Switch, it's perhaps not unreasonable to ask if Battlefront 2 could make the leap as well. According to Aulx Studio, whose team handles a single-player campaign in the game, it's not on the cards at present, but EA hasn't ruled it out entirely. The comment that they said, though, this is something we'll explore if we see an opportunity there, but it's not something that's on the books right now. Personally, I'm not holding my breath. I really am not holding my breath that Star Wars Battlefront 2 is going to come to the Nintendo Switch. Even if it does, even if by some miracle the game does come to Nintendo Switch, given the bad blood EA has had with a lot of Nintendo fans, especially a lot of decisions that they made that sort of pissed off a lot of them, especially during the Wii U, although Nintendo shares some of the blame as well, but EA does, especially when they decided to release Mass Effect 3 Take Back the Earth Edition around the same time they released Mass Effect Trilogy. There were comments reading how one developer came out and spoke out saying that they wanted Nintendo to go third party instead. There were comments that EA doesn't think the Wii U was next gen, and was backing the Xbox One, and when the Xbox One reveal was terrible. EA came out saying, "Oh, we support Wii U, we support Nintendo. We think they're next gen," and their idea of support was basically releasing FIFA on the Wii and the 3DS with only a roster update. And you can see why I'm a little iffy about FIFA on the Nintendo Switch as well. So to me, I'm not holding my breath of this game coming over in any way at all. And even if it does come over, like I said, will people pick it up? And then there's a whole controversy with loot boxes and everything in the game, and EA tried to defend it, saying that you won't get any special weapons, though. Although, my take on it is that they're saying that now, but what's going to stop them from doing something like that down the road and turn it into a pay-to-win kind of a situation? So, I'm very, very iffy about that, but as far as the chances of it coming to the Switch, I think it's slim to none. And who knows, even if they do bring it over, will they put time and effort into it, and will it come out by the time they decide, oh, we're going to announce Star Wars Battlefront 3 or something like that. So, personally, I think the odds of it coming out are very, very slim. And so I would really not hold my breath for any chance of Star Wars Battlefront 2 coming to the Switch. Personally, I think that comment was just nothing more than just a PR comment to make them look good. But again, that's my thought about it, though. Some people may have a difference of opinion, but that's where I stand on that one, though. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll get to our third and final story, and this involves sort of a patent that Activision has filled out that has really, upset some people, and it's not sitting well with a lot of gamers and a lot of folks. So, we'll take a bit of a break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with our third and final part of our My 2 Cent video for this week. And for this one, we're going to be taking a look at Activision, which recently filed a patent that has gotten a lot of people upset about, and I could definitely see why. So according to an article on Game Informer, again, all stories I mentioned, links will be in the description, you can take a look yourself. Apparently they filled out a patent encouraging microtransaction spending through matchmaking, and they sort of gave an update, a response to this though. According to the article, it says, earlier this month, Activision received a patent for matchmaking for a system that drives microtransactions in multiplayer video games. The patent was originally filed in May of 2015, but it was just approved. The patent drives into nitty-gritties of the system, which also factors in skills and internet latency, latency, I apologize, I'm not saying the name correctly, while matchmaking. However, things get really interesting when the patent outlines matchmaking based on group player who haven't spent money on items with those who are. It says, quote, "For example, in one implement, the system may include a microtransaction engine that arranges matches to influence game-related purchases. For instance, the microtransaction engine may match a more expert and marquee player with a junior player to encourage the junior player to make a game-related purchase of items possessed used by the marquee player. A junior player may wish to emulate the marquee player by obtaining weapons or items used by the marquee player. The microtransaction engine may match the junior player with a player that is highly skilled sniper in the game. In this manner, the junior player may be encouraged to make game-related purchases such as a rifle or other items used by the marquee player." It also continues on. It says, for example, if a player purchases a practical weapon, the microtransaction engine may match the player in a gameplay session in which the practical weapon is highly effective, giving the player an impression that that practical weapon was a good purchase. This may encourage the player to make future purchases to achieve similar gameplay results. Now, following this, Activision has responded to this by saying, quote, a Activision spokesman has said, quote, "This was an exploratory patent filed in 2015 by an R&D team working independently from our game studios. It has not been implemented in-game," quote, and that's from the spokesperson though. I am very, very uncomfortable with this, and for lots of reasons though. I am very uncomfortable with microtransactions or loot box in any game regarding multiplayer or single player games though. Now there are games that have used loot boxes, have used it properly, or have done microtransactions or free to play in an appropriate way. One case, for example, I think is Fallout Shelter, for example, which is set up in a way that while it's free to play, it doesn't come off as saying you have to buy these lunch boxes if you don't want to. So for a free to play game or a game that uses microtransactions, that was handled very well. This seems very scummy on so many levels. This basically spells to me a pay to win kind of situation, where basically it is saying that in order to keep up with these players, we're creating it in a way where you have to use the loot boxes or you have to buy them using the microtransaction in order to catch up with them, not work your way up to the scale. And I am very worried about this. I mean, I was worried about it with Shadows of War coming out, with now microtransaction in both the multiplayer and the single player, and I'm very worried about this though. The idea that a lot of developers, which unfortunately games are costing a lot of money and they have to find a way to make more money, though, this is just very sad. This is very sad, and I seriously hope this does not see the light of day. This is a very scummy and pathetic decision should this ever see the light of day though. And this is what also worries me about with games like Destiny 2 and all. Right now they have only the silvers now, and they only seem for cosmetics for the moment. But like I said this before, and I'll say it again, that's not going to stop them from deciding if they want to put like, say, oh, you want this powerful weapon? Well, you have to use the silver. Oh, you want the silver? You gotta pay real money using the microtransactions. Same with, leveling up very quickly and all. So I'm very, very eerie about this. And this, I just don't like this idea at all. And I really, really hope it never sees the light of day, though, because if this does, I think this could impact any purchase I have for some games or certain games that have microtransactions, especially from Activision, though. I mean, I am not very pleased about this at all, though. I mean, I've already held off purchasing Shadows Wars because of Warner Brothers' decision to use the microtransaction, and I'm already going to wait for Star Wars Battlefront 2 when that reaches bargain bin price because of the story campaign being 5 to 7 hours, but also the idiotic loot boxes in there. I mean, folks, this is sad that we're reaching this point where now developers have to make back their money resorting to microtransactions. I mean, this is just really sad and really pathetic, and I really do not like this patent at all. I hope it never sees the light of day. I seriously hope it does not, though. Okay, this concludes this My 2 Cent video for this week. And again, these are my opinion. What are yours? What are your thoughts about the new update for the Nintendo Switch that Nintendo has put out? Do you like what they see? Do you like what was in the update? Do you not like what is up in the update? Are you happy that they're now doing capture videos in it? Do you think this is a good step in the right direction? Do you think there needs to be some improvement? Same with the headsets as well. And what about Nintendo of America's decision to change some of their review policy after what this influencer did with Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga Bowser's Minion? Do you think it was the right thing for Nintendo America to do, or do you think they sort of overreacted way too much about it? And what are your thoughts about the latest actions from EA.to? Do you think they were right to shut down Visceral Games, or do you think it was wrong for them to do that? Are you worried about what the story-driven Star Wars game is going to be now? Has that changed your opinion of getting that game, or have you dropped buying that game completely? And what about the chances of Star Wars Battlefront 2 coming to the Switch? Are you hoping that the game comes to the Switch? Are you hoping that it comes to Nintendo Switch? Or do you have basically no confidence whatsoever that it will come to the Nintendo Switch at all? And what about this patent that Activision filed, though? Are you very concerned about this, about the idea of them sort of creating a situation where you have to use microtransactions to advance in certain games, like multiplayer games, for example? Or you don't think it's a big deal at all? Do you agree with what I said in this video? Do you disagree with what I said? Do you have a difference of opinion? As always, sound off on the comment section below. Let me know what you think. Excuse me. I hope you hit that like button. I would appreciate it. And I hope you do subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, feel free to share this video if you want to, and feel free to donate to my channel if you like. You can do it through PayPal me or Patreon. Links will be in the description of this video. It's evening in Southern California, so getting ready for bed soon, and I will see you again next time when I do another video. Hopefully that will be soon. Until then, for Southern California, I wish you all a good evening then. Bye!